On voter ID, though, I think the ACLU is wrong, and let me tell you why. One of the key principles of any fair election is making sure that the person who casts a vote is legally eligible to do so, and the fairest way to do that is by making sure that individuals authenticate their citizenship when they register to vote and authenticate their identity when they appear at the polling place to vote. Those kind of requirements also increase public confidence in our election process. Lincoln Chafee, who was an independent, governor of Rhode Island, when he signed Rhode Island's new voter ID law, which was sponsored by Democratic legislators and passed in a state where the Democrats control the state 4-1 in the state legislature, said that requiring ID at the polling place is a reasonable request to ensure the accuracy and integrity of our elections. Now, unlike what opponents say, which is that, well, this only can prevent impersonation fraud, and that, well, sometimes they'll admit it, they'll say it rarely happens. Others, like the New York Times, say it doesn't happen. That's incorrect. It can also prevent people from voting under fictitious voter registration names or voting in the names of other individuals like people who are dead. And we know, because of a study Pew did last week, that there's almost 2 million people who are deceased who are still on voter registration rolls. It can prevent double voting by people who are registered in more than one state, and I can give you a good example of that and how it was deterred by a voter ID law. And also, frankly, it can prevent illegal aliens from registering and voting, and there are examples of that that have also occurred around the country. When Justice John Paul Stevens, who's not exactly a conservative justice, in fact, he was one of the liberal stalwarts of the court, wrote the majority opinion that upheld Indiana's photo ID law, he made the point that examples of such fraud have been documented throughout this nation's history by respected historians and journalists, and not only is the risk of voter fraud real, but it could affect the outcome of a close election. Now, the idea that this will prevent individuals from voting, the claim that it is intended to suppress the vote, particularly of minorities and Democrats and the elderly, has been disproven in the courtroom and disproven in the polling place.